Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa
tonight. The show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, a lot is taking place so fast. Therefore, everybody must work hard to stay on the cutting edge as far as making sense of our politics is concerned, and of course, remaining on top of all matters. Tonight. This is Sound Candy Talk Live. 72 people have cast their vote already, and only 42 have liked the video, justified. So from the look of things, the majority of Kenyans think the government need to up their. Glad to report we are back on the main channel as well, and therefore we are asking everybody to join from wherever you are. Sound Candy Talk Live YouTube channel, and we are also live on X as well as extended to Facebook.
You are watching Sound Candy Talk Live.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another amazing moment, another episode. And tonight we are going to have a great conversation here on Sound Candy Talk. Welcome, this Political Open Forum show, a show where you are free to share your views and your opinions too on the matter raising up inside our nation. So I want to welcome you all with a humble heart, with a greater attitude, and saying that it is what it is because it is meant to be what it is. I want to welcome you all. Feel free and feel being part and parcel of this, as even we are diving up to the matters that are being raised up in our nation due to the circumstances that has been raising and also be continuing being raised up. One of the matters that are being raised up are a lot of things. The story or the investigation from the there is the case that has been going on. Also, we will be checking what's to it, and we'll be also checking the other stories that have been duping up throughout the day, because we have a lot has been going on throughout the day, and we'll be checking out of what has been going out during the day. So I want to welcome you and be host tonight, Shadizo, and with me I'm having other colleagues inside the studio who will be joining up. Also, Kibali is in the building. Atakuja kutusaidia kudadao mesiamiati hapa kidogo tujue ni nini imejiri na nini imezeza kutokea, and we will know what is up to. Okay, in our nation we have a lot of things that are running up or running down. one of the things is all about the story about finance bill. There's a lot speaking about the finance bill, a lot of controversy about the finance bill. Others saying reject the finance bill. I don't know why do they say that, but they have their own reason. Apart from that, we'll be checking about the story about the finances and the cost, also about the sort of IEBC. Apart from the IEBC, on our major story, on our major bulletin tonight, that we'll have a conversation towards to is the story of one and only this young man who has been killed, and he's called none than Ojwang. Ojwang stories is the one that is leading the headline by tonight, and we'll also be checking up more and more and what is not happening on it. We'll be having the great conversation of the story of Ojwang over and over again, because it's the matter that it is at hand. One of the things that have been said is the story about the CCTV getting lost, is other stories that are being raising up, and we'll also be checking also towards them. What I want to ask you is welcome and invite somebody to be part and parcel of this, as even we are joining up. And today we are starting the show in another gear with another style. Today we'll have a tricky conversation, tricky educational, but tonight we are starting up the show with a song. Wakenya waliamua leo kuimba, and this is the song that Kenya decided to sing today.
Nasikitika sana moyoni mwangu, ni nani aliyeumba sasayo? Si wewe Mwenyezi Mungu, si wewe Mwenyezi Mungu, muumbaji na ukombozi. Sema, si wewe Mwenyezi Mungu, si wewe Mwenyezi Mungu, muumbaji na ukombozi. Nasikitika sana moyoni mwangu, ni nani aliyeumba kasongo? Nasikitika sana moyoni mwangu, ni nani aliyeumba kasongo? Nani? Si wewe Mwenyezi Mungu, si wewe Mwenyezi Mungu, muumbaji na ukombozi. Viva!
That is the new song, the new jam that is out. Nani anasikitika. We'll be checking out more details towards that, and also more details to what's going on and on. But what I want to ask you is, I welcome you all. Feel free and feel part and parcel of this as we are getting the analyzing together and we are getting the conversation together. Oh, somebody just invited and somebody's reminding me. Please share the link to join up the studio. The link is on the comment section. Just use it. Let's even configure your audio and your video too, and come and be part and parcel of this, as even we are having a great conversation. I know I will miss you. I know I love you so much, my people. But what I ask you, please let us make Kenya go through ahead. I will be giving a shout out to the people in the comment section. It will be going good and be going great. Okay, with me on the comment section, I'm having Maureen is the first person to drop on the comment section. The other person don't have the name. It's called Gem Users G77 whatever. Kuna Eduardo. Thank you, Eduardo. Kuna Lucy Shiko. Thank you, Shiko. Kuna Anita. Thank you, Anita. Kuna Joffrey. Alafu kuna nani mwingine anajiita Apostle. Nicholas. Thank you. Namona nani mwingine anajiita Michael Nick. Nani mwingine anasema Nick like the video. Thank you. Anaona mara mwingine anajiita hapa anajiita Chege. Thank you, Chege. They pronounce Chege. Nani mwingine pale ana follow. Naona nani anasema following. Nani huyu hapa? Anajiita Telex. Thank you. Anasema I'm following. Namuona Mama G. Thank you for following. Thank you for those who are still following, and I want to welcome you to the tonight show, where we're having a conversation and a lot more over it and Eve. Thank you so much. The live create. Okay, thank you for following. Thank you for those who are following. Thank you for those who are still joining up. Team Facebook, Team YouTube, we are still joining up. Please just tell me in the comment section, where are you getting from and where are you from? And that'd be good and it'd be good. Team TikTok, follow us on Facebook at Sound Candy Talk, on YouTube at Sound Candy Talk Live. Also Sound Candy Talk. Our logo is blue and another logo is white. There we're having the great conversation. And if you want to join up the studio, we'll join up on the side of Facebook or the side of YouTube too. The link is on the comment section of Facebook and YouTube. The other team TikTokers, we can just tap the screen. Use the numbers on the screen to share your opinion too. And also you can SMS your opinions too. Today we will agree to SMS your opinion. I'll be reading them also. and the number is on the screen for the team TikTokers. Just SMS there. I'll be reading your SMS as we going on. The number of service is 0794 261 310. 0794 261 310. That is the SMS number for today. Just SMS your opinions to there. I'll be also reading. And tonight we'll be checking about the revenue crisis history. Take Kenya again. It is now 1 year since where the finance bill rejection was done now. And we have seen a lot more happening. After the rejection of the finance bill, everything went silent. So we decided to use back the finance bill for the previous year. Also tonight, we are having the story about the finance bill also on the board, because the finance bill now is one of the things that has been raising up, or is the matter that is at hand right now, because there is now being checked into the double checking of it, the consultation of it. The people want to know more about the finance bill. Also other many things that has been going up. So I will also be sharing the story about the finance bill, and it will be good so that we can move together and have the great conversation together as even we are continuing together. Okay, I want to welcome you on. Feel free and feel being part and parcel of this, as even we are driving the nation to go to the right side and to have a good nation. Whenever we have a good nation, we have the good plans. This is the place to be for everyone and for every Kenyan who is watching. So today we are here, and I'm not to make you tired with a lot, but I want we go to the mad of the day. But before we go to the mad of the day, let me take you to the shops for fast.
At Sound Candid Talk, we provide live UHD broadcasting for church services, talk shows and podcasts, weddings, live bands, products and services launches, webinars and trainings, Zoom meetings, conferences, seminars, exhibitions, and virtual concerts.
Welcome back. This is Sound Candy Talk, and I want to ask you, please let us consider subscribing, liking, and also sharing the video so that everyone can be part and parcel of this, as even we're having the great conversation. Team Facebook, I see you're joining up. The number is still low, but let us pull up. I see Team TikTokers. Let us pull up. Let us team Sound Candy Talk. Let us pull up. Let us pull up. Let us pull up. Team Facebook. The number is low. Team Sound Candy Talk live. The number is still low. Let us pull up and let us like the video. Let us continue joining. On the Team TikTokers, I see Maranduha Comedy in the building. I also see Ren. Thank you in the building. Another people still joining up. Thank you for those who are still liking. Thank you for those who are still being part and parcel of this. Today, I feel like I can bring Team TikTokers. Let us let Team TikTok on screen. Today, let us bring Team TikTok on the screen. TikTok. Let us bring Team TikTokers on the screen, and it'll be good. Thank you for those who are liking. Thank you for those who are sharing the live. Please let us continue sharing it as even we are moving on swiftly. So today I'll begin the story of finance bill. The story of finance bill is the one story that is cooking right now, and I have a lot of things that is going on. And today we will be checking out more details on finance bill. So this is what's happening about the finance bill. Let us check it out.
With us, this is JKL. The National Treasury is set to spend over 4.2 trillion Kenya shillings in the financial year 2025 and 26, an amount that the National Treasury aims to finance through debt, ordinary revenue and borrowing, both domestic and external. But just hours before the budget is presented to Parliament, Jimmy Mbogo spoke to a financial analyst for an inside look at what the options are for the government and what this will have as a consequence for employment to finance the budget on the back of revenue underperformance.
Hatuwezi kutosha uzuru zaidi.
Obi John bad his first budget as the second cabinet secretary of the National Treasury under the Kenya Kwanza administration. An uphill task to fully finance an expanded expenditure plan of more than 4.2 trillion shillings. To finance the budget, CS Mbadi is Thursday expected to pronounce the revenue-raising measures, with a target of tax collection now set at 2.7 trillion shillings, an equivalent of 64% of the funding required. Treasury hopes to collect 560 billion shillings in government levies and fees in form of appropriation in aid. That pushes the total revenue to 3.3 trillion shillings, leaving a budget gap of nearly 900 billion shillings. With grants of 46.9 billion shillings expected, the National Treasury faces a budget deficit of about 876 billion shillings to be financed through borrowing. And while a revenue target of 3.3 billion shillings may sound as a solid plan, a revenue underperformance threatens its success at a time when businesses and individual incomes have been shrinking, thus affecting disposable income. Experts now warning that this may not be tenable.
History tells us that the budget that we have will not be sufficiently funded, just building on what we've seen in previous years. And we've always set very ambitious revenue targets, which often leads to a growth in the deficit during the year of implementation, and it has up in the last 11 years. 9 out of those 11 years, that deficit has actually grown during the period of implementation between July and June.
The National Treasury CS Mbadi exuding confidence that grants listed in the budget estimates are almost certain.
Munaweza fanya budget muweke grant kama ile pesa mnagojea kujenga uchumi wetu nayo, na hao mnagojea wampe hizo grants wakikata.
We don't just wake up and assume that a grant will come. These grants are negotiated. And by the way, the grants are just elements of the funding. You will find the debts, the loans come with the grant component.
At a time the government has over the years struggled to implement the fiscal budget on time, experts propose that the government should control the expenditure side of the book.
A big headache for us remains how do we manage our spending, because that spending still has to come down. As I said, it's good that the cabinet and generally the executive is showing willingness to manage expenditure, but it has to appear a bit more in the budget. And Parliament the same, because the report that just came out from the Budget and Appropriations Committee has actually increased the budget by about 25 billion shillings. So even at the moment when we are thinking of how do we rationalize things, Parliament is also, increasing the budget.
Out of a budget deficit of 876 billion shillings, the government intends to borrow more than 2/3 of it locally, at 592 billion shillings, and the balance of 284 billion shillings externally. Experts warn that increased appetite for local borrowing continues to crowd out the local business scene from accessing credit.
In fact, if you look at the goals that have often been put out, is that we should borrow more externally and reduce our borrowing domestically so that we free up capital for businesses. When the government is borrowing 1.1 trillion or 576 billion domestically, that is not good for because it really crowds out. Banks and lenders will always go to government.
And with the central bank consistently lowering the cost of borrowing to single digits, experts observe that while this may look attractive to the private sector, it may as well serve the interests of the government, who now have an opportunity to borrow more locally at cheaper rates. The gains intended for businesses ending up being gains for the government at the expense of the private sector. Jimmy Mbogo, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
This is what is all going on, or this is what is not happening, or this is what is happening, and the story of finance bill. So we'll be checking more details towards that. I want to hear your opinions too from every other corner from finance bill budget, and it will be good so that we can move together and listen towards it. But even if still listening towards it, I want to continue checking out this, because this is one of the stories that's being talked right now, and we'll be hearing more and more from it, and more from everyone, and from every Kenyans, and from everywhere place that everything is going on. Let us check out this. This is what happened during the finance bill today, and this is what is cooking.
Locked door right there. That is the office of the CS for the National Treasury. But from the pictures that we were able to bring to you earlier on, we have the a number of directors and director generals who work here at the National Treasury currently are just going through the final notes with the Principal Secretary, that is Dr. Chris Kipto, in terms of what, just making sure that they dot their I's, cross their T's, even as we prepare. And let me tell you something surprising, Jeff. It is a few minutes to 10 p.m., but people are still in this office. People are still working like it would be a normal day, and as expected, these gentlemen right behind us are the guys at the center of this year's budget. A number of directors and, of course, director generals. That right there is the PS National Treasury, Dr. Kipto, and I just want to catch him. What up, PS? How are you doing?
Hi, thank you, Jimmy.
I know it's been a busy couple of days, but just come and talk to us kidogo, and thank you for allowing us to intrude, even as you continue to burn the midnight oil. So I just know one of the things that we know, when you compare this year's budget and last year's budget, the circumstances are quite different. I just want to know, could you tell us how different this has been for the National Treasury, and also just trying to raise and answer some of the questions that we have raised in the previous story?
Yeah, this year we know we've just come from a very difficult time, because we ended the year last year with a bit of demonstrations because of the finance bill, and we had about 2-3 months that economic activity went down. But from then on, we have picked up, and I think the GDP growth rate is around 4.7%.
Yeah.
And we also see that the macroeconomic front has markedly improved. We see inflation now is around 3.8%. Mm-hmm. Interest rates have come down. We see foreign exchange reserves have gone up in central bank. Yeah. And generally, it's marked improvement. But the challenge is that spending pressures are still very high. Yeah. And yet revenue-raising measures are not really much, because we decided this time around that we need to be sensitive to what Kenyans said last year. Yeah. And so the finance bill that we came up this time was not more about raising revenues, but more about just making sure that we address equity and issues around clarity of clauses within the bill. Yeah. But more importantly, looking at ways to increase the tax base without necessarily raising taxes. So the budget that we have prepared today, which my team is getting ready for reading tomorrow, is one that has taken us almost 12 months, because the budget making process takes long, beginning in September, all the way to budget statement in December, and up to going to Parliament on 30th April.
Oh, and I know it's been a number of days that you've been working overnight, and of course long meetings and long working hours. I mean, it's just 15 minutes to 10 p.m. You guys are still in the office like nothing is happening. And I know tomorrow is an even bigger day. But there's a question that a lot of Kenyans have been asking. What is the priority of this budget? I know we cannot go into the specifics of it until tomorrow, because, again, this bigger budget, Jeff, there has to be an element of surprise, and we'll be waiting for the CS to tell us that tomorrow. But PS, I just want to know, what are some of the priority areas that you are really keen on, even as you are going through the process of making this budget?
Without going into the specifics, even though I think most of our budget issues are really disclosed already, the minister is going to highlight tomorrow, but I would just say that we have focused more on better, bottom-up economic transformation agenda, and the specific agenda, budgetary allocations we have given, like fertilizer subsidy program. And in the education sector, for instance, we have tried to prioritize key areas such as free day secondary school, free junior JSS, and also free primary. Then on the health sector, we have security sector also, which is taking a huge chunk of the amount of money. Yeah. We have tried to address on manufacturing. We have also areas around transport and roads, and more importantly also around agriculture and food security. Yeah. So you will see this is a budget of about 4.2 trillion. Yeah. And out of that, a huge chunk of it is actually going to service debt. We still have a debt vulnerability that is still an issue that we have to face for a while. In this budget, we have 1.1 trillion. You add together around 200 billion for pension, that's almost 1.3, which now you have to isolate from the 4.1. Then the rest you give to counties, which the counties are getting around $474 billion. And then now the rest has to be divided between the national government. And in the national government, it has to be with judiciary, parliament, and and the executive.
All right, so PS, one question, I know our time is fast running out. I just want to know, when you look at the balancing act that you've had to do, that is balancing the expenditure side, balancing our debt obligation, and also balancing development, how hard has it been? And also particularly when you see when you look at the interest that Kenyans are now showing in as far as financing of government goes.
I think first I like the interest that Kenyans have developed, because it's good for Kenyans to be aware of what is happening. That is important. But I think the issue is for expenditure pressure, the pressures have continued to go up. I can tell you the requests are almost around 5 trillion, but we could only accommodate 4.2 trillion. On the revenue side, we have also tried to be less ambitious as before, because we need to have more realistic projections on revenues. So this time around, ordinary revenues have come down. You will see, compared to budget policy statement, which was around 2.8, we have come down to around 2.7, because we want to make sure that we don't chase KRA to go for too many high targets. So we try to really live within our means, making sure that we continue with our fiscal consolidation effort, which has so far, despite the challenges, succeeded. Because remember, we had a budget deficit of 8.3% in 2021. 2022 we reduced it to 6.2%. 2023 it came to 5.6. 2024 it came to 5.3, and this year we are hoping to still be 5.3, and this budget we have targeted 4.8%.
All right, PS, thank you so much for making time to speak to us. And of course, Jeff, this is the team. We have Director PPPs there. We have Director General that is for the budget. We have Director Anyona in charge of budget. Just the entire team right here at the National Treasury, trying to make sure that everything goes as planned tomorrow, even as the CS prepares to present that budget. And we will be camping here for the better part of tomorrow to let our viewers know what is happening. And of course, Citizen TV is the only place to catch everything that happens in as far as the 2025-2026 budget goes. For now, back to you, Jeff and Ayub.
That's right, Jimmy, and we're going to be up Citizen TV from 6 a.m. all the way. So please stay tuned to Citizen TV. We'll bring you all the latest from the budget 2025-2026. Thanks so much, Jimmy. That was a great one-on-one where Principal Secretary Dr. Chris Skipto says we have to live within our means. That's the bottom line. Very important. We'll wait to hear what the Cabinet Secretary John Badi has to say about that in the next few hours. In the meantime, Ayub, back to you.
That's what is happening with the story of finance bill. We'll be checking more details on, also coming up with other stories. Invite somebody to join, invite somebody to be part and parcel of this as we are moving on as Sound Candy Talk TV. I want to welcome you all, and welcome also those else who are watching us from the other side. Please join up the show. The link is on the comment section. Use it, come up with the show, and let me hear from you. Let me hear from your opinions. Let me hear from your views too. As a Kenyan, wewe ni Mkenya pia mimi ni Mkenya. Nataka nisikize maoni yako, pia wewe usikize yangu, usikize wewe mwingine, ili tuone tunajenga Kenya kwenda vipi. Maana tunaona kwamba Kenya pale mahali imefika, tusipokuwa werevu ama tusipojipanga mapema, kila kitu kitenda kando na kinyume na matarajio na mipango yenye ambao tuko nayo. Kwa hivyo na njooni tusemezane, njooni tuzungumze, njooni tuweze kujadiliana masuala haya mengi ambayo yanaweza kuzidi kuchipuka na yanazidi kuonekana katika nchi yetu, na itafanya ili tuweze kukuwa na umoja ambao tunaweza kuafikiana hali tukisonga mbele pamoja. Kwa hivyo tukiachana na masuala ya story ya finance bill, nataka turejee kwa story ambayo imezidi kuunga vichwa vya habari leo hii, na hii ni story kuhusiana na kijana wetu ambaye anajiita Ojwang. Ojwang ni kijana ambaye one of the bloggers that was arrested in Homa Bay, and later he was taken to Nairobi Central Police Station. And then after being taken there, there's a lot of conflict, or there's a lot of misunderstanding and misconception over the story. One, somebody saying that this is what's happening, and the other person saying that this is what happened. So we are not sure of where to go. So the question is tonight, who should be blamed, or what happened, or who is involved also next? Because everyone is trying to wash hands, throwing the case. Everyone wants to be get inside the cycle of the case, because the case is too hot for even everyone to handle. So please, I want to hear from you, and I want to listen from you. I want to hear from every cardinal of point of Kenya and every person from Kenya. Please just give me your opinions, give me your views too, so that we can move together and we can have the conversation together and we can build up together as even we are talking as Team Candy Talk. So I'll be playing a couple of videos to show this, and I'll be having the conversation together, also taking to that direction and having the conversation together, meaning that we'll have a little of the triggering conversation which has been rising up and having the conversation. Team TikTok, let us download the skill, let us share the live. Team Facebook also, let us share the live. Let us like the video, let us vote for the poll question, and it will be good so that we can have good and great conversation over here. As Kenyans still moving on quickly. So this is what is happening, and this is what happened. So I want to urge you, let us continue sharing the video. I will play a couple of videos of the opinion from other and every dimension, and then we'll have the conversation over it. This is the videos that has been raising up throughout the day.
Sign language interpreter. Officers from Nairobi Central Police Station have recorded statements with the Independent Policing and Oversight Authority IPOA, distancing themselves from the death of blogger Albert Ojwang while in their custody. The officers claim Ojwang was already in critical condition when he was brought into the station. They allege in their statements that they made efforts to save his life upon realizing his deteriorating state of health. And as Citizen TV's Ben Kirui details in the following report, the officers seem to be pointing fingers at their counterparts from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, the DCI, accusing them of bearing the responsibility for Ojwang's death.
The officer commanding Central Police Station, Samson Talam, has denied any involvement in the alleged torture and subsequent death of blogger Albert Ojwang. Talam, who recorded a statement on Wednesday at the offices of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority IPOA, insisted he was only summoned after Ojwang had already been booked into custody. He claimed that upon arrival, he found the suspect in poor health and took the initiative to rush him to hospital. Questions continue to mount over the state in which Ojwang was brought into the station and the timeline of events that followed.
To the DCI, what criteria did you use to conclude that the OCS is the prime suspect? Because even for the members of the public who viewed the body at the city mortuary, the body does not actually appear fresh, meaning there was quite some time. It's either allegedly the officers at the Central Police were under duress to admit a half-dead person, because the time duration by arrival at Central Police and the time Ojwang was taken to Mbagathi, it was less than 1 hour. Ojwang was declared dead, Mr. Speaker.
Several other police officers have also recorded statements with IPOA as the investigation into the incident gains momentum.
That the 6 officers were to report today for statement writing at the authority headquarters, and during lunchtime I've confirmed they have reported and their statements were being taken. 8 of them, including the OCS, had already taken the statements. So of the 6, the authority saw 9 more, 11 more being persons of interest, officers who are also around in this police.
IPOA is expected to forward its finding to the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, with recommendations on whether charges should be brought against the officers involved. OCS Talam, through his lawyer Felix Keaton, has expressed willingness to cooperate fully with IPOA, saying he is committed to ensuring justice is served. Meanwhile, scrutiny is intensifying over the role of 5 officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, who are reported to have picked up Albert Ojwang from his home and transported him to Nairobi shortly before his death. As the pressure mounts on top police officials to step down following the brutal torture and killing of Albert Ojwang, key questions remain unanswered, including the whereabouts of police officers who reportedly picked up Ojwang from his home. There is still no clarity on when the persons of interest will be arraigned in court. When Will the wheels of justice begin to turn? Ben Kirui, Citizen TV.
Hey, this is what is going on, and this is what is happening. This is what's happening. Let us continue checking out these videos and then giving our opinions too.
Has called for swift, transparent and credible investigation into the murder of Albert Ojwang. This as a heated session ensued in the Senate this afternoon as lawmakers mounted pressure on Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen and the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja to suspend and prosecute the Deputy Inspector General Kenya Police Service Eliud Lagat over Ojwang's murder. Stephen Leto has the details.
In record 24 hours after receiving summon, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen appeared before the Senate, accompanied by top police bosses to answer to questions on why a lifeless body of a young Kenyan is lying at the morgue after meeting his death at the hands of the police.
If the IG, who is supposed to have convinced himself on how Ojwang was handled, how can he be the same one now deflecting that responsibility to IPOA? He's supposed to give evidence in the same manner he'll give to IPOA when IPOA will call him to appear before them, Mr. Speaker.
The offense of publication, why did you not, or why do you not consider inviting the person you think has offended to come to the police station for you to ask them questions?
Why we are demanding that DIG Lagat steps aside, it is because he is a police officer and this matter revolves around him.
The life of Albert Ojwang is as painful, Mr. Speaker, as the life of Father Lois, who was killed by criminals. It is also as painful as the life of that person killed in Garissa.
Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen told the Senate that his office will leave no stone unturned.
I have no doubt in my mind, Mr. Speaker, that if the speed that IPOA is using and the Corporation National Police Service is giving, Mr. Speaker, that the perpetrators of this heinous act against Albert, Mr. Speaker, will be brought to book. And
the senators questioned why the suspect was arrested in Homa Bay and transported all the way to Nairobi, where he met his death.
There were other names. There were other 4 persons of interest. Are they alive? Or are they in a ditch somewhere? Are they at City Mortuary? He's supposed to tell us that if he's going sequentially.
Why did he have to travel all the way from Homa Bay to Nairobi and ended up losing his life here?
As the reasons why he was transported from Homa Bay up to Nairobi. But basically, it is because in Nairobi, that is where the offense was actually committed.
Mr. Speaker, this is an ongoing investigation. To the best of my knowledge so far, the information we only have is that the Deputy Inspector General of Police, despite being the DIG, took the step to report what he thought was an act of or a crime committed against him.
The Senate session continued even as President William Ruto directed the IPOA team to move with speed and give the country the much needed answers.
The Independent Police Oversight Authority must make sure that officers in uniform who engage in criminal activity instead of protecting citizens must be brought to book, held to account decisively, efficiently.
President Ruto further mourned the death of Ojwang and termed it as unfortunate. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.
Opposition leaders and human rights activists are demanding the immediate arrest of the Deputy Inspector General of Police Eliud Lagat and Central Police Station OCS Samson Talam to respond to questions on the murder of Albert Ojwang. The leaders allege that Lagat ordered Ojwang's arrest and must now step down and face prosecution. As Melita Oletenges tells us in the following report, they are also demanding for full disclosure of Lagat's report on the incident.
Opposition figures Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, Eugene Wamalwa and Justin Muturi, together with other leaders in the opposition, expressed outrage over the killing of Albert Ojwang, laying blame on the Deputy Inspector General of Police for ordering his arrest.
We are calling not just for the resignation, but for the arrest and arraignment in court of the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Eliud Lagat, within 24 hours from the issuance of this statement.
The leaders accused the National Police Service of covering up key details surrounding Ojwang's arrest and subsequent death following his transfer from Homa Bay to Nairobi's Central Police Station. They are demanding answers, including why CCTV cameras at the station were switched off.
We demand to know who inflicted the grievous and extensive injuries on his body. Number 5, it's been reported that Albert was in solitary confinement at Central Police Station. Why was Albert considered a high-risk criminal to be confined in solitary?
The leaders are asking for Lagat's report on Ojwang to be made public and are urging authorities to guarantee the safety of junior officers at Central Police Station, who they say may hold crucial information but fear for their lives. Human rights groups have echoed the call for Lagat's resignation and raised concerns about the integrity of the ongoing investigations.
Investigation into the death of Albert Ojwang cannot be impartial or be seen to be impartial where the complainant is at the helm of the investigation.
Without independent and external investigation, these practices continue to pose a threat to Kenyan lives, the rule of law, national security, and the public interest.
This is why we are asking people to turn up tomorrow, on Thursday, and demand justice for Ojwang, and demand that Lagat is arrested. He has no business reporting to work every morning when all of this is happening.
A petition seeking private prosecution of DIG Lagat has also been filed in court by a human rights group led by Julius Ogogo, Caleb Khalifa, Francis Auma and Peter Agoro, arguing that investigative authorities have failed to take appropriate action in the matter. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
The Independent Policing and Oversight Authority investigates Albert Ojwang's CCTV system says CCTV systems at Nairobi Central Police Station were interfered with just before the late blogger Albert Ojwang was presented to the police station on Saturday. However, this was just the first step of many cover-up attempts of the heinous murder of the slain blogger. Emmanuel Toh looks back at the string of interferences to conceal the true account of events before Ojwang was killed within police cells.
To cover up the evidence linked to the death of social media influencer, teacher Albert Ojwang started before his death.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
The IPOA Vice Chairperson Anne Wanjiko lifting the lead on the events just before Albert arrived at the Nairobi Central Police Station and how CCTV cameras were tampered with.
The power was not connected to the power cable of the CCTV was not connected to the socket. But on connecting it, the CCTV came back. But on trying to review the previous day's events, there was nothing. So it is very clear that the CCTV was tampered with.
The Director of Criminal Investigations putting the OCS Nairobi Central, Samson Talam, at the center of the cover-up.
Talam is the officer commanding Central Police Station. And from the totality of things, he should be treated as a prime suspect in the matter.
However, this was just the tip of the iceberg in an effort by the police to mislead the public and distort information about the death of Albert Omondi. The statement issued by the spokesperson of the National Police Service, Mushiri Nyaga, on Sunday, 8th June, titled Clarification on the Death of Albert Omondi Ojwang, saying, quote, while in custody, the suspect sustained head injuries after hitting his head against the cell wall. Information by the Inspector General of Police, the DCI and IPOA also appear to have some inconsistencies on the timelines of events between Mawego Police Station in Homa Bay and the Nairobi Central Police Station.
IPOA Mohammed Rashid, Hero Abdullahi booked the suspect into the cells at 21:35 hours.
And he was booked at Central Police Station 21:32 hours.
And escorted to Nairobi, where he was booked at Central Police Station at 9:31 p.m.
And the baffling of all was the time taken by the DCI team from Homa Bay to Nairobi. According to Albert's father, Albert Ojwang, his son was bundled into the waiting GK Subaru Forester and left at 4 p.m. on the same Friday he was arrested. According to IPOA, the DCI team, which left Nairobi for Homa Bay, took off on Friday 8 a.m. and arrived at 2:30 p.m. Friday, a 6-hour 30-minute journey. However, Ojwang arrived at the Nairobi Central Police Station on Saturday 9 p.m., 29 hours later.
How many hours? Because that seems to have had so many hours in between, so that we know whether that is normal or whether there was a detour to some other place.
Ojwang's X account, which had been accused of publishing malicious information, was also deleted. What did he post? Who deleted the account and when?
IPOA Mohammed Rashid, Hero Abdullahi booked the suspect into the cells after confirming his normal physical and mental state.
While the security agencies have in consonance agreed that Albert was booked in healthy and in good condition, the OB which Citizen TV had obtained reads otherwise. The word sick was boldly written in red under his name as soon as he was booked in at the Nairobi Central Police Station. The OCS Nairobi Central said the suspect was brought in unwell. IPOA is checking the veracity of the information. In the meantime, IPOA has issued the list of the 5 officers who arrested Albert Ojwang at his Kokwanyo village in Kabondo, Kasipul, Homa Bay. They were Stephen Sigei, Wesley Korir, Dennis Kenyoni, Milton Mwanze, Boniface Rapudo, while Mohammed Rashid booked him at the Nairobi Central Police Station. The response by the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, about the last 36 hours of blogger Albert Ojwang have raised more questions than answers. The inconsistencies and the tampering of evidence pointing to just one thing, a cover-up. Will the family get justice where others have failed? Emmanuel To, Citizen TV at the Senate, Nairobi.
This is what's going on. This is what's happening with the story of our brother here. And we are still checking out for more details and more information about the story that is being going up and bringing up out there. So we will be checking more details or more details from that story, and we'll be checking more information from it and not knowing where the nation is going and where the nation is heading to. I'd like to hear from your opinions too and your views too. Please invite somebody to join with. This is Sound Country Talk, the home of everyone, where we are free to share our opinions and our views too, according to the what is going on, or according to the nation, or according to what is happening. So please, I urge you, please let us share up the live. Let us stand there. No, let us not just sit there, leaving our country, going into chaos. Let us be there and straighten our nation very well, so that we can move on swiftly as even we are building up our nation. So I want to ask you, please, Kenyans, let us do the thing. If we don't do the thing, everything will go into places that are not good. So please, I ask you, Kenyans, share the live and let us have let us be part and parcel of this, as even we are fighting up the battle for one of us who we are saying that he must get justice, and justice is supposed to be found. So I would like to hear from you, from your opinions too, and also people in the comment section. The link to join up the comment section is on the comment section. You have heard the opinions from every person, from the president. You have heard also from the other parties that has been speaking, that are speaking on board too. which they are sharing their views, they are sharing their opinions too, and they are sharing their comments too, which they are good also to listen to them. We have heard the president speaking all about what is capable or what is moving on towards it, and also other parties also sharing their opinion and sharing their views too. So we'll be checking more details and checking more parts towards this so that we can bring our nation to an understandable or a good standstill. Not just the nation should be moving the way it wants, or it should be just going on a dimension that is not right. So we will be supposed to bring the nation to a good and a better place. Just going for a short commercial break, and we will be right back.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye
Tonight. Basi yule mtoto akasema ile siku moja mimi sijaenda kanisani na Yesu Kristo anakuja.
Because kuleta ndege ya Chief of Defense Forces down is not only negligence but criminal negligence.
Nilikuja hapa hadi ya Gong nikamwambia mchague Ruto. Na mimi naomba msamaha.
Na mchezo huu rais ni mchezo ambao utakusaidia wewe rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Ni mchezo ambao unakufundisha jinsi vile kufanya kazi.
Your Excellency, what helped that case was there was a policeman who recorded his statement in English.
Sasa huyu ndiye nilipiga kofi. Juzi ndio amenipigia simu akaniambia.
Tonight. Kutoka vijijini, mijini hadi jijini. Hii ni Sound Kanti Talk Live. Are you looking for video live streaming services? You want your church services to be on air? You do not know where to market your goods and services? At Sound Candy Talk, we deliver the best live stream services for your events, product and service launches, conferences, weddings, and live. Reach on us today. Tunazunguka kote kote mchana kutwa kukuletea taarifa na matokeo ya habari kutoka pembe zote za ulimwengu. Jioni tunaweka mduara wa kujadili taarifa zizo hizo kwa mapana na marefu. Ungana nasi kila siku ya wiki kwenye matukio ya siku saa 2 jioni kwenye Sound Candy Talk. Matukio ya siku, makao makuu ya habari kuu ya siku. Tunazunguka kote kote mchana kutwa kukuletea taarifa na matokeo ya habari kutoka pembe zote za ulimwengu. Jioni tunaweka mduara wa kujadili taarifa zizo hizo kwa mapana na marefu. Ungana nasi kila siku ya wiki kwenye matukio ya siku saa 2 jioni kwenye Sound Candy Talk. Matukio ya siku, makao makuu ya habari kuu ya siku.
Welcome back. This is Sound Candy Talk, and I'm happy you are still here. and you are still with us, and we are still having the conversation. I'm sorry for the technicality, but we are still moving on swiftly. I want to welcome you all. Feel free and feel being part and parcel of this. As even when conversing, I have the story of Ojwang, who is a young man who has faced the tragedy, and the police also involving in it, and the matter getting hotter. Today we have seen inside the Senate, whereby Bwana Douglas Kanja was supposed to respond to some few questions which were raised inside the and we have seen it and we have seen the reaction of it. So I hope things will be moving towards a good direction and a good dimension too. Ready to hear from everyone and hear from all Kenyans, as even we are moving on swiftly and soundly to bring our nation to a good and a better place to be. So I want to welcome you all. Feel free and feel being part and parcel of this, as even we are moving on swiftly and moving up with the conversation, as we are creating up the good time together. This is the memories that we will not forget, and this is the history that we are writing, protecting for everyone. So I'm asking a question: do you feel like Ojwang will have the justice or will not have the justice? This is one of the things that we'll be checking it out, because if this is serious, if Ojwang will not get the justice, why do you feel will go inside the hearts of Gen Z? And why now, where the story of finance bill is coming out? Okay, and what do you see this controversy? The story of finance bill is still up. We still remember the gaps and the itch and the pain of last year's finance bill protest. And then, when the government is still processing the finance bill, people are still meditating about the finance bill. Now, this is so also this other issue comes up, and we have seen the reaction from different people, and we have seen what is it all about. So, do we feel like this one can trigger people to go and reject back the finance bill something? And if we'll trigger towards that, what do we expect? Now there's some threatedness that they're saying that on 25th we're gonna have the protest of against finance bill. So I'm not sure of it, but what do you feel all about? Will the protest come back? Will it be able to succeed? Will they be able to manage to reject finance bill? So these are the questions that we're supposed to be asking ourselves. These are the questions that we're supposed to be talking all and having conversation over them. Because they may seem like minor cases, but they are very serious cases that when we are not be careful, we will end up missing our nation, or will making our nation fall into a ditch that will not be able to remove our nation anymore. I would like to hear from you. I would like to hear from every Kenyans. I would like to hear from different people. And for those who are joining up the show, please use the link on the comment section. Let us have the discussion together, as even we're moving on still steadily with the story of Ojwang. I'm seeing Lala is inside the studio with me. Lala, how are you?
How are you? I'm well, Izo.
I'm fine.
Yes. How are you?
I'm good, unless where you are.
Oh, we're okay. You know, we're having our own issues with California and the immigration, and it's crazy, but we are doing okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Let us go on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm well. I'm well. Mm-hmm. So what's going on? What's new? I think I just stepped in, and I'm happy to join with you. I hope Bernard is doing better, getting better, and all of you in the background and all of us. It's been quite a whirlwind, you know, with all the hearings and the focus on these kinds of behavior, the way the country is talking. I think they are covering other in the places like Northeastern, where people get abducted and they're killed, and nobody seems to, say much. And I'm glad that Ojwang's issue is making us talk, because we have to talk, because I think we are becoming numb to these ideas that people can just disappear. And the other thing that I think is important is that I think our conscience has been so shared that abnormal things we can't accept as normal. A very simple thing like this DCI arresting someone in Homa Bay and traveling with this person to Nairobi, okay, miles away, away from the support system they need to protect themselves and even to defend themselves. Because when you take a person from this home village and you bring to Nairobi, what kind of justice is that? Even if nothing did happen, the idea, the logistics to kind of try a case like that in the capital with somebody who is from the countryside. And a young lady talked of, I think a lady from Moyale, I don't know, sent to Mombasa, Nairobi DCI. So that to me itself is a denial of justice. If I've done a crime, let me be tried where I am, where I can have the juries of my peer, those who can be able to see what has happened and say justice is being done. Okay. So I think these are things that we have even lost touch of, because right now we are focusing on Ojwang, but we don't look at the entire, the whole scene, how we deny people justice to get someone with resources like the DCI, whatever, not DCI, but Commissioner, Assistant Director, or IGI, IG, I don't call them IG, someone like that complaining, and then a young man is brought all the way from the countryside. What do they expect? Justice? Or already you've condemned that young man? Because if you're bringing him to a place to get justice, then why couldn't you allow him to be in an environment where he can hire lawyers, he can do a little harambe to take a matatu to a nearby, court, which is nearby? Why have those courts there if you can't take somebody like that young, not very sophisticated? So to me, even when I listen to that argument, I'll hear them, the talk, the talk that was going on. It's like these people don't really understand the normal Kenyan. They don't. They're cut off from all of us. And justice has to come to the grassroots. Okay. The fact that somebody has done something does not mean they are criminal. They shouldn't be beaten. They shouldn't be disoriented, taken everywhere. Some don't even know was blindfolded. We don't even know, because they have been doing that. You don't know where you are. They drive you everywhere. We don't know what was happening to this young man. Secondly, I heard him talk about he called his wife, but under duress. You are sandwiched between policemen. You don't know what your charges are. You are going to a place of unknown, disorientation, the psychological torture the young man was going through. They already had killed him psychologically. So when you tell him that he called the phone, called his wife, that was under stress. That cannot hold in any court of law, especially under these circumstances that we know that this young man, was tortured. So the question is, for the time he called and then next the torture, what is the, what is that? What do we know? What went on between those two moments? Okay, of the call, and that to me that call is preposterous. Is not an indication that he was free at all. If it ever happened. And so seeing those, the IG and the DCI, they have just made me more mad, more angry. Okay. Yes, the other thing that may have happened, we need no stone left unturned. The other thing may have happened. The question is, who is doing the investigation? As far as we are concerned, Langat is still the boss, although everyone making those investigations. The only person higher than him in that room is the IGs and the IG, and perhaps Morcomen, who has got no power over him. So here is someone who is such powerful, has all resources. The system is under him, and you're telling me someone can investigate him without him stepping aside? It's a mockery of justice. So, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So hayo ndiyo maneno ambayo nina uchungu mwingi kwa sababu kuangalia vile walivyo, and even justifying the reason mtu analetwa huko sababu hiyo cybercrime lazima ifanywe Nairobi, where the crime took place. The question is, I didn't even hear that young man lived in Nairobi. Did he? He lived in Mombasa and also in Kisumu. Okay. So if he did something, he must have done it, in Mombasa while he was there. I'm sure they have satellite, know exactly where that, whatever, the tweet came from. Okay. So to tell us that things gotta go to Nairobi is ludicrous. Asiji kama ni anafikiri sisi wajinga sana. Okay. It's a cyber crime, most likely, and it's not even a crime. Okay, it's not. It's the truth. From what I'm told, what he did was he tweeted on corruption, and who has not spoken about corruption? We know there's corruption. Okay, Uhuru said there is 2 billion. Are they arrested Uhuru because he said that? Okay, being stolen. That is bad. Is basically indicting the nation itself. So this is and Kenyans should be even much more angry with this kind of so-called sanitation of crime that has been done. And finally, I'll give somebody else time to say something. Listening to the pathologists narrate what this, the forensics, what this young man went through. This young man, from psychological torture that took place in Homa Bay when he was arrested in front of his own family, his own little baby that's been born, his wife, his mother, and his father, being handcuffed in that present sandwich between, whatever it is. I don't know how they got him out of the home. That is scene, that horror that never leave you, especially if you done nothing wrong. Already the anxiety, that would even kill, the shock itself. People have died just based on that. Okay. So that shock already. So psychological torture began right in Homa Bay. And then we are told of, 24 hours between Homa Bay and Nairobi. Nobody knows where they took this young man. All we know, the man claimed there was a satellite, how they traveled, whatever it is. What we don't know what happened in the interim time, what this man went through. But when you listen to the pathologist describe what went on in the head of this young man was tortured for hours. I can definitively say that. These were animals. These were not human being, animals. Even animal, you don't do the thing that he did to this young man. These are animals. These are evil people. To be able to put a young man under such a torture when actually you can't justify what he has done? He hasn't killed your son or your daughter or whatever it is. You're simply inflicting pain on that young man. The question that I would ask, where is humanity? What has gone wrong with that conscience? That part of us that would look at blood and we don't want, we just don't want to look at it again. What would make a man to do the kind of evil that was put on that young man? So what I can see is evil, demonic, that's the word, inhuman. What the young man had to suffer for the next 24 hours. Because already you got a young child, you got a father who struggled for years. He mentioned 20 years working in a quarry. Quarry are the hardest place to work. I've gone to a quarry. You see them, and in fact, I went to Kasarani one time, and you see people there. The way they work there is the toughest job on earth. This man, you could see his eyes because of dust. He's lost his eyes. He can't see properly. His body is broken. But he was so happy that my son is able to do the job. Shadizo, do you know when you go to church or wherever you even card, you see the praying hand? You see that praying hand? Or now your praying hand?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you know the history or the story behind that praying hand was about two brothers. They were kind of like friends and they're brothers who wanted, this is a medieval time in Germany, who wanted to become doctors and sculptors, okay? But then they could not afford it. It was a very tough time. So one agreed to go and work in a quarry, in a iron, to gonga itu machuma, to kind of support the other to go through school to become a doctor, okay? Sculpture, okay? And the doctor and sculptors were doing almost the same thing. And he went to work and paying for his school fees, just like the same thing that this father did to his son. So he worked and for many years. And so when the young man, his friend, his brother graduated, okay, so he had a party for him, okay, and now it was his turn now to go to medical school. But when he went for an interview, they looked at his hands and they were so bad. They had been damaged so badly that he could not be accepted into medical school, okay? Into the work. Those are many hundred years ago, okay? So when his friend will become a doctor, so, those hands that have worked so hard, it was very emotional for him. So the story goes that he was so depressed. He left home. This man who had become a doctor, he was too depressed. But the one who had worked so hard, was left at home. And stories told, whether true or not, that when the brother came back, found him in the house holding his hand and praying, he said, "Please make my brother the best doctor." And so when the brother came in and opened the door slowly and found him praying, he became so emotional. And then he went back and drew those hands. Okay? So that's the story behind the hands. The hand that sacrificed himself so that the brother could go to school. That's exactly what this man had to go through. A quarry. To be able to give his son, the only one, a chance. And the story is beautiful because the man says after his fourth form, You know what he was doing? He was actually tutoring kids in the neighborhood. That's what he did. This Ojwang, that was doing, making sure that others were able to go to school. Okay, and that's what he did. And so his life has been example what you'd want in a son. God blessed this man with a son with conscience. What we want in a nation. Okay, and what do we have now? He's gone. But people should be protecting. So what I'm saying, these are evil people. And Kenyans got to open their eyes. We need a restart. We need a new system. We need for us to sweep the whole system and maybe start the way Rwandans did, truth and reconciliation. Those who need to go to jail need to go to jail, because even to see us, our people in parliament talk when we know exactly this young man died because he criticized, because he pointed out corruption. That's what he did. He pointed out corruption. And what Langat and others would have done, go to court and prove yourself innocent. And that's what courts are there for. But what did they do? Only more. The young man is gone. And it's a sad day. It's a sad day. And I hope it's just speeches, not we just speak. Okay? I hope it will be some action. And finally, of course, I listened to Kajwang speak. That is my home county. The young man lived in Migori. I also lived in Migori. Okay? Because both places used to be South Nyanza, those one district or one area. Okay? Homa Bay is my home. Okay? And Kajwang mentioned the losses that this one county has had. I don't think in terms of fighting for liberation, fighting for good governance, fighting for new constitution, I don't think there's a county that has paid the price that Homa Bay has paid. Okay? When I came home representing this group of ours, I went home to attend funerals. I came to Kenya to attend the funerals for those who had died in the hands of the police, who were shot. Okay? And I went from home to home with a team of other people to make sure these people were buried. Okay? This was home to me. You can't drive very far within the county before you find a grave of someone who has been lost, senseless, and evil people are still there to reign. So to me, this is the time for Kenyans to get it right, act right. Okay, and so the life of Ojwang is symbolic and is crucial for us to address the deeper problem, which is evil in high places, and we must bring them down. Justice must reign. These people must be booked. Evil must be exposed. And we must embrace each other. And those others are more important than others. We are all Kenyans. We fight together and die together. That's what I like to say. Back to you, Dadizo.
Okay, Lala, also, I have a question here. Okay, yesterday, before yesterday, the previous day, the police said that Kajwang hit himself on the wall and he died. Okay? And then today, they're saying that the OB for Central Police Station is written that Ojwang was brought sick, and it's written in capital letters. So, where is the truth and who is saying the truth? Between the today's OB or the back then in the book? What they said earlier
Shadizo, wajua, when you shed blood, kuna, let me be spiritual. There are, you invoke spirits, okay? There are a lot of insane people right now because wamepagawa, they are being haunted, okay? And so truth and lies are becoming very evident. How could a man injure himself, that way, hit his head and inner bleeding and neck compressions, neck and back, and is put somewhere and alone in the cell, and get all that injury by himself with nobody else there to inflict that injury? It's laughable. It's just laughable. So, and one thing, let me say this. I think they're used to lying so much that they thought people will not, dig, because we know very well that people go to those, Kenyan jails and others, and anyone who has gone there, they tell you they beat you. They don't tell you they beat you. Okay, so that's normal. That's just a normal life that is within those areas where the police are controlling. Okay, because they are known to extortion, because I think that was extortion that this man stated what police get, okay, every month. And so he must have pissed off the police that this guy, trying to touch our pockets. Okay, look at some of those officers when you see them. They look healthy. They look big. They look like they got resources. They're not worried for money. Okay, and most Kenyans are worried because you got to take care of your uncle and your aunties and all that. Even if you make 100,000, 200 or 100, 500,000, money is always tight. Look at who they are. Look at what they have. Okay. Shadizo, I was told by one of it happened that she used to be my client. Okay, she works for 500 Fortune company as a forensic, investigator. Okay, with a huge conglomerate company, and he told me, Abel, I can donate my time for Kenya, and all these crimes, money laundering here, cyber, whatever it is, when it comes to um, um, looking at who is doing what. If you guys want to do it, okay, it can be done. It's the easiest. When it comes to money, the trail of money, it's easy because money is there. Okay, but you see, they don't want only to go there. So when this young man talked about it, okay, you don't touch the pocket of these criminals. Okay, so they come after you. Okay, so it's a syndicate, clear. There's no doubt about that. And so when Onyonka says what he said, I think is correct. Okay, just look at the way things are. So what you're saying, Chadizo, is a lie, and is unbelievable. What they're telling us. What happened to the CCTV? And how many are they? And why they unplugged all of them? Is it just one? Okay, so there's a system here that was in operation, and that system has to be thwarted. It's not just Ojwang. Ojwang must be the beginning. Okay, this is the beginning of looking at trailing these guys, so that we can get down to the root of the problem. The problem is deeper, it's bigger, it's larger. And look at this, everybody's quiet. Okay, and gangster, I deal with gangs sometimes. Okay, one of the code is silence. Say nothing, I saw nothing, I do nothing. They just silent. What do you do anything? And that's exactly what's happening. Tell me, that's Central Police, you're telling me there were no people to see anything? Of course they were there. And who were there? It's the police. And that's why they isolated him from other Mabusu, any of the people that were booked that day, so that they can do what they want to do. That's very calculated. Why was it not with the others? Because they could be speaking. So the ones who are silent are the police. Okay. So this is a little higher. It is. You have to look at those a little bit higher order this. And you know what? When they start talking, they'll speak. If there's enough effort, they will speak. If wananchi come and say speak, they will speak. And they were told, we know you are not the people who organized this, but tell us what your role was. Some of those small officers will have to start talking because they were there. They're the ones who were used. And let them know that. I think wananchi gonna tell them that, you gotta start speaking quickly enough before we come for you. This has to be done because this has gone too long. Back to you, Chadizo.
Thank you. Before I play the video, we see the controversial namuona nya Cairo. Thank you. Kenya maandamano kamili. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Shadizo. Habari yako?
Nipo salama.
Namsalimia Alala na watu wetu wa Kenya. Sijakuwa na muda mzuri, nimekuwa mgonjwa sana for some time, but I want to participate a little bit. Nataka kusema tu jambo ambalo kweli kabisa linaumiza kama mzazi. When I see people playing this kind of games, ambapo mtu maisha yake inaenda tu hivyo kiholela, it's very painful. When I hear people talking that we want justice, I wish tunasema we want justice when Ojwang ako kwa cell, amefungiwa huko. But we are looking for justice for somebody who is already dead. It's very painful. Na mimi niseme hivi, serikali wanafurahi sana wakiwa na mjadala kama huu, wakiwa wanajaribu kujidefend. Wanaleta maneno hii, wanaleta ile, because they have no pain of anybody that we are losing. Hakuna mtoto wake ameuawa ama ameumizwa. Mtoto wa maskini hana mwenyewe. Surely, what does it mean to commit a crime? Hata wale watu ambao walikuwa majambazi wakiiba na mabunduki na labda hata wameua mtu, they don't face such kind of wrath. They still go the process of being in jail, being arrested, taken to cell, processed until the day for them to go to court. Ojwang ni kitu gani kubwa dunia hii amesema ama amefanya ndio afikishwe kaburini? It's very painful. Mimi nikiangalia Na nikijisikiza kama mzazi, I'm putting myself in the Opio's shoes. Anafikiri nini? I don't think hata kama anasikia anakanyanga mchanga ama anakanyanga ground, I don't think he is normal right now. Maisha yake imekuwa tofauti, akili zake zitabadilika, because he'll be seeing nothing precious in this world. It's very painful. Nirudi niseme hivi, huyu Ojwang kuambiwa niye alijiua, Shadizo na Lala, ask yourself, huyo kijana amejitupa, amejipigiza kwa ukuta. The very first time amejipigiza, he becomes immobile if that is what happened. So he could not go ahead doing other harm to his body. Mkiweka hii maneno yote vile sasa imeanza kutokeleza, mrudi muimagine ile story tulikuwa tumepewa mbele ndio tunyamaze. If we kept quiet, we would not have known what happened. But we want to know more. But we are knowing more. Ojwang awe hai ama ni aje. That is the crucial part of this story. Tunataka kujua alifanywa nini, ni nani alimuua nini. But he is not going to be alive anymore. That's my pain. The other thing I'm trying to dig out and thinking seriously about our country. Hivyo nimeona ati wamepelekwa hapo Senate, IG, CS Murkomen, IPOA na DCI. You know what? I think this is not right for them to be sitting there to give us stories of stupidity. Ni kama kuchekelea watu. Kwa sababu ninataka kusema hivi. This was like an interview. This was like investigation of a serious heinous action. Kwa nini hawa watu wanaletwa wanawekwa kama kwa darasa? Mtu awe anasikia IG amesema nini? Ndio Murkomen ajue pahali IG hakusema vizuri, nitajaribu kutengeneza. I'm trying to say this. These horrible creatures, IPOA, DCI, CS Murkomen na huyo IG, they ought to have been kept away from the Senate and being called one by one, because it was not a discussion we were having. It's a serious matter, very, very serious, that they need not to know each other what the other one said. That is my thinking, because I could see Murkomen, when IG was answering these questions, Murkomen was like unstable on the seat, on the chair, feeling like, I wish he did not say that. That is my thinking. I wish ningeulizwa hiyo swali ningejibu hivi. Sasa ni kama wanachukua maneno ya huyo ambaye ameongea mbele yake. Sasa anajua ile swali ameulizwa ataenda kujibu namna gani, ndio arekebishe labda pahali IG amesema mambo ambayo itaharibia hii serikali mbovu. I was thinking that was very crucial for these people to be put in a different room where they could not hear what the other person has said. Na huyo akitoka aende zake, mwingine naye aitwe. Because it is not a discussion of making a law. It is a discussion of a lost life of a young man, Ojwang. Really. I'm trying to imagine this guy at that moment of that very painful attacks from those animals. Kwa sababu siwezi nikaamini mtu alikuwa kwao nyumbani. Yes, nimefanya makosa. Punishment is not to beat somebody. You can jail him for 100 years. If that be. Lakini sasa imekuwa cell kwa our police is a slaughterhouse. Hakuna mtu atapelekwa huko arudi nyumbani. Whatever the guy, our boy Ojwang had revealed about this bogus government, we already know. What is the difference? Mumemuua, amekufa. Whatever he has said, we know what he had said. Mumejisaidia na nini? Is it that we are not there to live because other people need to live more than us? Maisha yetu wananchi wa Kenya imekuwa ni ya chini kabisa. Hakuna mtu ako na haja na nyinyi. When I see this guy Ruto ati anasimama mbele ya watu anawaambia hiyo haitafanyika, I'll deal with them I don't know whether he uses the word decisively. Yani anaonyesha vile ako bingwa wa kudeal na watu ambao wanafanyia Wakenya makosa. And he knows he is the mastermind. Tunaweza ishi kweli na mtu kama huyo? Wakenya tafadhali, amkeni. And the other thing I would urge Kenyans, hizi pesa ambazo mnapewa ati ndio mind yako iwe switched from a right mind to an abnormal mind, ndizo zitawamaliza. I believe this guy, he is putting a lot of money together, ndio ifike wakati aje aanze kulua wananchi ati wawe kwa upande wake. Wakenya, ole wenu. You have to be wise this time. You have to be serious. You have to be vigilant. In fact, we have to fight for our country and for our future, since we have faced the wrath of this bogus regime. Mimi nitasema Kenya itakuwa huru wakati ule hatutakuwa na huyo mtu kwa serikali. The other thing I wanna say, hakuna mtu mtribe kama Ruto. You see now IG is trying to talk the talk of the government, the talk of official, the talk of what should happen. But he is not the boss. The boss is Langat. Na ndivyo mliona Kila mtu ambaye amepewa ofisi ati unafanywa mkubwa, unacheka, unafurahi ati umefanywa mkubwa. Kuna mkubwa wako chini yako. Yeye utamuona kama ni mdogo kwako na yeye ndiye bosi yako. The other thing I want to mention, even today Langat resigns. We have ghost workers. He's not going to be poor. He will still be earning money through Ruto because that is what they have been doing in our country. That's why our country is going down due to this dubious corruption that has been going on in our country. Na kwa vile sasa hiyo mambo imejulikana, lazima huyo auawe. Na kwa vile sasa tutaambiwa mambo ingine ambayo wanafanya, hata ule atasema atauawa. What are we going to do? Kenyans, we have to stand together. We have to unite. We have to put our effort and force together to get these people out of our way. Na mimi sina uoga kusema. In fact, hawa watu kutoka upande huo wa Ruto, they cannot lead people. They cannot lead a country. They cannot care for a country. They cannot develop a country. There is no way. Na tumeshaona hiyo, na tumeona hawa watu. In fact, despite of them being proud of serikali ni yetu, tumepata serikali, there is nothing that we are expecting from these people. There will be no development, there will be nothing. So the killings will continue, corruption will continue, people will continue to be poor, people will continue to cry. Lakini Wakenya, tafadhali, let's change our move, let's change our mind and be who we are, and we take care of each other. We have nobody leading us. Wale watu wanasema wanatuongoza ni wanyama wa porini. And I believe animals are better because we understand animals don't have reasoning, but they do more than what we have in our country. Nashukuru, asanteni kwa kunisikiza. Mungu abariki nchi yetu na abariki hiyo familia ya Ojwang. I really feel for that man. So sorry. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, for the contribution and for your time through. We're still moving on swiftly. We still have a lot on our desk. I see Sunday joining up. But before I bring up Sunday, I want to play the controversy between the two speeches. This was the first speech, the first day that Ojwang was arrested. This is what they said.
And the police narrative that Ojwang died from self-inflicted injuries.
Ngong Road near the Nairobi funeral home was blocked by angry demonstrators who carried placards chanting slogans as they called for transparency and accountability from the police. They alleged that Ojwang was killed by police officers after being arrested and detained at the Central Police Station in Nairobi.
The police say that he died as a result of head injuries that resulted from him hitting his head against a wall in the police station. A clearly false and incorrigible assertion.
As we stand here, we know that Ojwang was alive and kicking with his family. And he was picked when he was alive and kicking, now he's dead. So already a violation has taken place. We are just investigating who, why, how, but the violation has taken place. He has been killed by the state, by the government. That is true.
No matter what happens, custody
ya police, someone should not lose their lives. And we are here, we've been here since yesterday, and we'll continue to be here to ensure that justice is done. And we are telling the police that Kenya is not a police state. Interdicting officers by and itself, junior officers, is not enough.
Inside the mortuary, Ojwang's body lay awaiting a post-mortem to determine the exact cause of death. However, the autopsy was postponed to Tuesday for unclear reasons, a move that further escalated the protest, with the demonstrators storming the funeral home.
A lot of things are not adding up. We are still not able to give a concrete decision or position on what really caused the death of Albert, or who is culpable, or why he was arrested, and even if he was arrested for the allegations that were being made against him, we're not able to understand why we are being told that he was being held in isolation, and why we are being told that he hit his head against the wall.
What happened has no place in this society in today's time. It is really a shame that yesterday, of course, you're aware that investigations were not carried out. There was the, IPOA.
So this is what, this was the report before the post-mortem. This was the report before the post-mortem. Now, after the post-mortem, the story changed. This is the funny thing. I want to check out this. This was the story before the post-mortem. Before they wait for the post-mortem, this was the story. And then now, this is the story after post-mortem. And today, inside the OB book, the Central Police, they said that Ojwang hit himself on the wall. That was the first report. Let us check out this. This says clearly that Ojwang was brought sick, and it's written in the OB book. Check out this.
CCTV systems at Nairobi Central Police Station were interfered with just before the late blogger Albert Ojwang was presented to the police station on Saturday. However, this was just the first step of many cover-up attempts of the heinous murder of the slain blogger. Emmanuel Toh looks back at the string of interferences to conceal the true account of events before Ojwang was killed within police cells.
To cover up the evidence linked to the death of social media influencer teacher Albert Ojwang started before his death.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
The IPOA Vice Chairperson Anne Wanjiko lifting the lead on the events just before Albert arrived at the Nairobi Central Police Station and how CCTV cameras were tampered with.
The power was not connected to the power cable of the CCTV was not connected to the socket. But on connecting it, the CCTV came back. But on trying to review the previous day's events, there was nothing. So it is very clear that the CCTV was tampered with.
The Director of Criminal Investigations putting the OCS Nairobi Central, Samson Talam, at the center of the cover-up.
Talam is the officer commanding Central Police Station. And from the totality of it, he should be treated as a prime suspect in the matter.
However, this was just the tip of the iceberg in an effort by the police to mislead the public and distort information about the death of Albert Ojwang. The statement issued by the spokesperson of the National Police Service, Mushiri Nyaga, on Sunday, 8th June, titled Clarification on the Death of Albert Ojwang, saying, quote, while in custody, the suspect sustained head injuries after hitting his head against the cell wall. Information by the Inspector General of Police, the DCI and IPOA also appear to have some inconsistencies on the timelines of events between Mawego Police Station in Homa Bay and the Nairobi Central Police Station.
IPC Mohamed Rashid, Hero Abdullahi booked the suspect into the cells at 21:35 hours.
And he was booked at Central Police Station 21:32 hours.
And escorted to Nairobi, where he was booked at Central Police Station at 9:31 p.m.
And the baffling of all was the time taken by the DCI team from Homa Bay to Nairobi. According to Albert,
this is what's going on, and this is what's cooking up inside the nation. This is so serious. There's this story ambaye add up that the CCTV was not, the CCTV system was not plugged on the switch. Okay, tuulizane tu kweli, na tusidanga, tuambiane tu kweli. Facility gani yenye CCTV inakuanga ijadungwa kwa moto? Aje utaikuta sa facility. Na tukisema kwamba zile video zilikuwa za nyuma walifuta kutoka kwa storage, tutakuwa tunadanganya. Ndio waseme kwamba hii jago ikifanya kwa muda. Will we be lying? Wacha tumsikize Sunday. Sunday, how are you? Sunday, your mic is having an echo. Or is having a problem. Sunday, go and come back. Audio yako iko na shida kidogo, sijui mbona inaguruma tu, inafanya haitoi sauti. Please check on that and then come back as we are ready to listen to you as we are still moving on swiftly. So, if this controversy, there's something that is not adding up. Mbona tu hiyo siku tu ndo stima iliamua kwa ndo CCTV ikataka kudungwa, na wanasema ati hata nyuma iko ikifanya. If they could say that the CCTV had a technical issue, hiyo tungeeleweka, lakini hati iko imedungwa kwa power. So if we say that we unplugged it and we deleted the footage from there up to back, then will we be lying? I would like to hear from you, Kenyans. I want to hear from you as even we are moving on swiftly, checking more details towards this. This is so serious, and this is so sad also, because now we are debating over somebody's life that has already gone into crashes. Hii ni aibu. Hata kama tunaandamana mtu maisha yake kweli isha. The life has gone to an end already. This is so bad. This is so bad. Lala, this is what I'm asking. Ikiwa hizo siku zingine zote CCTV imekuwa ikifanya vizuri, and then how come inafika hii siku ndo wanasema ati iko imedungwa kwa stima? It was not on the socket. And then that woman akona confidence ya kusema kwamba, sikiza kwanza Lala, the woman has the confidence kusema kwamba ati when we check out the CCTV was not plugged on the socket. And then we realized this because the past footages were not inside the CCTV. So if we say that the footages were deleted from the CCTV up to a certain day so that they claim the CCTV was not plugged, will we be lying?
Yeah, Shadizo, hii ni uonekana ni mpango, ilikuwa imepangwa. Yani, there is no randomness here. Listen to this. If you know something about security, there are places that must be secure. That is a police station, because that's where they book people who may be intending to harm the nation, criminals. So if there's a place that is well guarded, in most cases it's a place like Central, like a police station, especially the major one, like the one that somebody is brought all the way from Kisumu or from Homa Bay to be booked in. So it means that is a very critical space and place where you want to capture everyone that comes in there. And that means that the system may be accessible to probably DCI headquarters, probably the police headquarters, to be able to monitor that, because I'm sure with the modern age of terrorism and all that, there are things that you don't joke around with. So for someone to interfere with that by itself, listen to this. Even a place like London, you know, thank God there's a Kenyan who planned London, Professor Makayoto and others. You see, you can sit somewhere in an office and monitor everything going on in every part of the city. Okay, almost every road, every street corner, CCTV is covered, and it's almost like kienda kwa business kuna a room hapo ambayo wanaangalia even na maduka, you know, their job is to kind of watch TVs. If something goes off, they make sure it is on. And to me, it is almost impossible to tell me that the CCTV was off, has been off, or was unplugged. You know, somebody somewhere knew exactly what they were doing. There was no power outage to suggest that something was happening, or there was nobody working on the site. And even when you work on the site, I'm sure there's a system somewhere that can be able to monitor that. So I think there is much more in there that we need to know. That by itself is basically a tenor of every one of us, that something is going on here that need to be rectified. So from security perspective, that's a big suspect. You know, that a place like Sinto police station not to have a working city, you know, cameras is, to me, that makes sense to me, because there should be multiple places where you can access them. Even the malls you had, even when there was a problem at the mall, there were other TVs that were being, you know, you can access it from different places. Okay, so we need to know something about the system itself. We need to know something about Safaricom, also with the, you know, the phone calls and all that. There are a lot here that need to be unraveled, and I pray that there'll be access to some of this information. Clearly, from what I think the CCTV was on up to a certain time, and there's somebody who should be able to know when it happened, when somebody went to mess with it, because that should be, can be proven, because this is something that operate all the time. So the moment it went off, we should know, okay? Because and again, we want to know who is. I think somebody asked the question: who are behind these systems? Who are monitoring them, and who has access to them? That will tell us a lot. As somebody, I think, did ask that question. So I'm very confident that more will be learned, but it's clearly a very methodical act that took place on that night. They knew exactly what they were doing. Turn off those cameras. You've seen those movies where the first thing is what we do with the camera, okay? Because if it was the man just died, you know, you'd have got it, you know, that's there. And don't tell me that nobody monitors what goes on in those CCTV. I mean, when you go there, you find it unplugged. The question is, and they were working, when you put it back, then the question is, who is monitoring what? So there is much more. There are a lot of people in this. And my prayer is this, and Kenya should tell them, begin to talk and let's protect them. Because there are a lot of people here that may be, some of them are just in it because they had to be there. And the more they start talking, the better. The faster they start talking and telling us exactly what happened, the better. Because the blood of this young man is beginning to bite, and it's going to bite many of the people. So the faster they begin talking, the better. And I think hopefully Wananchi will listen to them and hear what really happened. And I think you'll be a hero if you tell us, what your role was. Okay, this silence, this mafia type of silence has gone too long. That's why we had this problem. So if you're talking, maybe that's the only way for us to build the next generation police, service. But what we have is a police force, and to me, it seems to me that we have terrible, because we have allowed this cartels to go on in the police force. I think we are worse than when it was a police force. We are worse because that time you knew exactly what was happening. You still had people who are more into the old culture. They're still afraid. But now we got people who don't care. Yeah. So imagine, that meeting when the way Jamali described, the pathologist. I mean, a human being, you do something like that, okay? Just the description of the kind of pain, kind of torture that they put that young man in. You don't even prey on your dog, or even a stray dog, okay? So that is somebody filled with evil, extreme anger, almost psychopath, no human empathy and sympathy. Invocation of Moi, old era, the Nyayo torture chamber, the same mindset. So the very reason why we changed from a police force to become a police service was because of those scenes. We wanted to get away from that. But look at what we've done. We are exactly where we started. And so this is a quagmire. This is the mashetani na Mungu atuokoe kabisa. Mungu atuokoe. It's terrible even for my friends over here. They are afraid. Kenyans here in the diaspora are sick. They are traumatized. They are embarrassed. They are angry. They are ashamed. You any adjective. They're feeling it. It is a worldwide, because people are seeing it all over the world, and it's a bad name. Whatever we are trying to build, we just take it back to the trash. Okay, because of some things like this. Yeah. So let us open up. Let us deal with it. Let you, if you know you're involved, please speak. And let's create a mechanism which these people can speak and talk and find ways to help the country, this family heal. And to the family, our prayers are with you. And we just ask God to strengthen you day by day. That kid will never see know who the father is. That young woman, that and the man had just gone to buy flowers. Can you imagine, Tadizo? Alienda kununua flowers ili a plant with new wife at home. Ametoka huko Voi, amekuja nyumbani, aleta mke wake, wanakula lunch. Earlier on the day, alichukua pikipiki akaenda kununua flowers to plant for his wife. Love, new life, new hope. And then now, poor woman is planning a funeral. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. And to all Kenyans, again, Homa Bay, my home. My home has been visited again. I came back to bury some. I may have to come back to bury this one. This is not right. It's not fair. And every Kenyan, we must come together and get to the bottom of this. Get to the bottom. We don't want to be irrational and emotional and do things that may hurt us, but at the same time, we have to be clear that this person and these people, because they're a group, it's a cartel, has to be dismantled. and it has to be dismantled into entire system, because corruption and even all of us, it's come to a point where we are numb to evil. There are things that are happening in Kenya that should never happen, but we are so used to them that we just forget. No Kenyan should lose his or her life, and no money should be used carelessly. Tatizo pesa ziko kutumia fueling those vehicle all the way Western Kenya to get somebody who is not even a criminal, somebody who spoke just something. It doesn't. Decisions ambazo tunafanya, that's become a priority over the death of people who, in the same city, who should be investigated what happened to them. Yet they're going for to kill somebody for evil. The money is available for evil. Let me call it that way. But this was evil, but not for serving our people. So back to you. I can go on and on talking and making no sense.
Thank you, Lala, for that talking on and on. Then God is good because we're still getting the information. This was the tricky conversation that we had. But before we wrap up, we check this one last story before we wrap up. My time is going so fast. But before we do the story, I would like we take this just a minute. Let us support Sound Candid Talk using the details on the screen. Let us do so. Sometimes we are here to build up our nation and to help one another. You can use the details on the screen. We just support Sound Candid. We have a lot of things to set up with. One of the things we are setting out is the story of the bills a little bit. One thing there. Also, Bernard is not so much good, but he will be fine very soon. And we still also sorting also that and else other many things that are being raising up. So we can use that, and also you can use the Bernard's number to do so, and it will be good. And also be moving together as even we are bringing up the other parties to come to place. Also be setting out something to come to place. We have to pay for the StreamYard so that we can be here even tomorrow. Also the electricity, the internet, also we have to do so that we can be here tomorrow. So I will urge you, let us do so, and God will bless us, and God will be with us. Okay, as we are leaving that, I'm disappointed a little bit, Lala, because of our members of County Assembly from Homa Bay 2 yesterday, and also from Machakos.
Assembly?
Members of County Assembly from Machakos, and also okay, let us just watch this so that you can understand well.
Huruma iliweza kushuhudiwa nje ya bunge la kaunti ya Machakos wakati ambapo wawakilishi 9 waliopigwa marufuku katika bunge hilo walipozuiliwa na polisi wasiingie bungeni. Makabiliano makali yalizuka huku lango la bunge hilo likigeuka uwanja wa vita. Crispin Otieno anaarifu zaidi.
Kwa mara nyingine tena bunge la kaunti ya Machakos lilishamiri fujo, hamaki na makabiliano makali. Wawakilishi wadi 9 waliopigwa marufuku kuhudhuria vikao vya bunge hilo kufuatia vurumai iliyozuka hapo jana wakizuiliwa kuingia.
Shame on you! Oh! Hatutaki kujua kama nini, na ni mtu shika mtu wa sisi wote.
Walinzi wa bunge na maafisa wa polisi wakiwakabili vilivyo.
I'm going to get into the assembly. Do you have a court order to prevent me from getting here?
Na kuarifu kuwa wameagizwa kutoa ruhusu kuingia hadi marufuku iliyowekwa ikamilike. Baadhi ya wawakilishi wadi wakiamua kupimana nguvu na maafisa wa polisi. Lango kuu likageuzwa uwanja wa vita. Mwakilishi wadi wa Katanga akigaragazana na maafisa wa polisi ardhini na kupiga nduru kuashiria madhila aliyokuwa akipitia. Mwisho wa kwisha, Suti aliyokuwa amevalia ikigeuzwa kitambara kibovu. Sarakasi zote hizi zikinaswa kwenye kamera.
Unfortunately, we have found security personnel who have indicated to us that there is an order from the Speaker of the Assembly to the effect that 9 members of the county assemblies have been barred for 8 weeks.
You know, the sergeant at times are claiming that I'm not supposed to be at the bunge. So I'm telling them I'm a member of the county assembly. So where am I supposed to be?
Viongozi hawa wanashikilia kwamba hawatashurutishwa na spika wa bunge la kaunti ya Machakos.
So we are asking her to stop these dictatorial tendencies and allow all the MCAs who are sent, who are elected and those nominated to attend plenary session.
Vurumai ya leo ikiwavutia wenyeji wa kaunti waliofika hapa kwa mabango ya kupinga vita vya mara kwa mara. Wao pia wakivurugwa na maafisa wa polisi, hali ikawa mguu ni ponye. Crispin Otieno, runinga ya Citizen.
Lala, this is what is happening. This is what's going on. This is what is cooking in our nation. This is serious, oh. And this all came from yesterday. This is just what you have seen, what happened today. But the beef or the conflict started yesterday. And when I try to check out the serious thing that caused out the conflict, it's all about from stopping other members from entering the parliament, which the bunge, which caused all this. It was so shaming because it started yesterday. See what Leo Lala. Leo is just the second day, but yesterday, it was the deal. Yesterday also ilikuwa kivumbi, ilikuwa mguni ponye, kama uwezi songa nitapita na wewe. Usiposonga na kanyaga. I want you to check this. This is what happened today that results to what's going on still in Machakos County.
Homa Bay were disrupted after the chaos erupted over a leadership row. Citizen TV. Sittings at county assemblies of Machakos and Homa Bay were disrupted after chaos erupted over a leadership row. In Machakos, 9 MCAs have been suspended indefinitely for engaging in a fistfight, while in Homa Bay, sittings were adjourned after chaos erupted when 11 members were barred from accessing the assembly in what is being termed as an attempt to stage a political coup. Here's Crispin Otieno with the details.
Scenes witnessed on Tuesday inside the Machakos County Assembly chambers. The drama unfolded immediately after Speaker Ann Kiusia announced new House leadership, unveiling names of the new majority and minority leaders. Instantly, the House erupted into mayhem. MCAs hurling insults, some storming the floor, others engaging in fistfights. Punches flew, slaps landed as some scrambled for the maize. No one was spared in the showdown as honorable members turned the assembly into a war zone. Eventually, police had to step in to quell the madness and restore peaceful pressings. Subsequently, 9 members will have to miss several sittings for this honorable show. Residents angered by their leaders' unruly behavior now want the house dissolved.
When you abscond duty, unalipwa. Haulipwi sasa uko kazini, unalipwa. Wakati umeenda kulala miezi mbili ama mwezi moja, how do you expect our taxpayers money to go to you? Nonsense. Tunataka wafungue watoke wote nje, tuchague wengine na vita tutaki. Hiyo mbunge tutafunga leo na wote watoke tuingie sisi kwa mbunge. Hatutaki pita ya kuua watu. Kwa hivyo wameshindwa na kazi watoke wote. Tuingie tufanye kazi. Kwa hivyo hatutaki pita Machakos.
Similar chaos were witnessed in Homa Bay. Trouble erupted when 11 members of county assembly were barred from entering the chambers for allegedly plotting to impeach Majority Leader Richard Ogindo. Clashes broke out at the main gate as accusations flew from both sides as the public watched in disbelief.
Some people have been saying that today, 10th of this honorable month, June, this morning I was to be impeached.
If at all we are the minority, why are they denying us access to the county assembly plenary?
The majority of the staffs who have been given letters to go home are the young people. Why are they being given letters? It's because they don't support an ideology of some members who wants to vie and become what and what.
Just like in Machakos, Homa Bay too is no stranger to leadership turmoil, and today's incident adds to a growing list of political unrest in county assemblies across the nation. Crispin Otieno, Zen TV.
This is what is happening, then this is what's going on in our nation. Kumechemuka bila kifuniko Kenya. Hakutaki mchezo, hakutaki uzembe. Let me have you as we closing from there, Lala.
Jadizo, that's not bad that people are questioning their current leadership. Of course, there's an extreme to which evil people also may want to, it's about themselves and their own interests, and that has happened many times. But in terms of questioning, the things shouldn't go on the way they've been going, because we know most of those people are there for their own pockets. And maybe questioning that will be one way to bring change, but more need to be done to make sure that we are not just doing it because we're jealous that somebody is doing better than you, but you're doing it because the taxpayers' money is being misused, and you have a better method, a better means of doing it. I hope that the changes, those questioning, will be tolerant at least of one another, so that they focus primarily on the problem, on the issue that need to be changed, not on the personality, which often kind of mess things up. Yeah. So I don't know. Let's see.
Okay, we are not saying it's bad from questioning the government, but at least let us do something that is a little bit reasonable. And Lala, Lala,
School fees for was going to be kicked out.
Lala, we can't hear you well.
Money that I've been paying for the last years, and so you just don't know how these people do their things. Record keeping is poor, just because somebody wants to get some kickbacks. This is a boarding school all the way in Migori. That is, the parents discovered that what happened is a child died and one of the reason why the child died is because this kid the teachers the staff of the school did not take quick action. So the kid died, and they were with the other children in the dome for a long time before the body, the kid needed medical help. And I think out of that situation, they were kind of frustrated, and they went on some kind of a strike. And today was the returning day. It's a national school, okay, in Kihancha, okay, and all of a sudden we are told to. My brother went there, and we are told to pay, I don't know, 24,000. Yet we had paid that amount of money before, and the records are not kept. This is called tuition money, and I think 2,000 every month, every semester. All of a sudden, they claim this kid is in Form 3. We never paid anything, so the kid had to leave, come back home, and these are done intentionally. So every institution is contaminated. So that spirit, in Machakos, in Homa Bay, and others, is what everybody feels. We feel that something new is needed. The country is ready for something better. and people can't wait. And I also believe that Kenya needs to start afresh. Or else we're going down, and we keep on going down. And we'll just wake up one day and we are in Somalia of some kind. And we don't want that. Yeah. So that's my word, okay? Asante.
Thank
Back
you.
to
Thank you, Lala, for that contribution to. It's been good. It's been a moment since we have been here since night. From my side, it's almost we are almost heading to 3 a.m. and we thank God for this day. I thank for those who have been here with us as we've been having the great conversation, bring our Kenya to the alignment. People on team comment section, we really appreciate you. Team TikTok also, I really appreciate you. Team IG, today we went to on my live on my Instagram, and I really appreciate everyone that has been watching us from every part of the Kenya. So we'll be adding up, and I will bring up another conversation that we'll be raising it up. But don't go away, just still tuning in. We are coming up next with the story of finance bill. The finance bill is still going on, and we will hear more about the finance bill. I will be bringing up the updates of the day for the finance bill, and later I will be joining with the Kibali. It's inside the studio. We'll be bringing up the story of finance bill also during the day and the readings. So don't go away. And I have asked you earlier, let us support Sound Candy Talk. It will be good. Let us use the number. Let us make sure that we get better, good medication. We also do 1, 2, 3 so that we can pull up the channel. So if you one of these members, please show the love by sharing anything you have. You have you have $200, you have $100, anything you have, just do it on the Bernard's number. The one is just scrolling on the screen, or this one. If for those who don't have the Bernard's number, that's the Bernard's number. You +254 718 454 585, and will be good so that we can move on swiftly. And for those in Kenya, you can use the till number, which is 51656575, and it'll be good so that also we can support it together. So I really appreciate you. I appreciate also Lala for being with us today. I don't have much to say, Lala. Lala, do you have any word to close with? Unmute.
let's just stay together. I think God has given us opportunity for us to get together. First of all, to support those that have lost their lives in this gruesome way, support that family, and again, to use this time to demand those changes that we need in our nation. It can be done. Hands are ready to work, brains to think, to organize, to strategize on how to move this country forward. We are ready to do it. But corruption, evil men, corrupt men in high places, like what we have seen, is actually stopping us from getting there. And God is reminding us to get clear the clogs, because we got to do that, or else we got no future. And I also see in this Ojwang, this painful time, that Kenyans have come together, irrespective of ethnicity, and that is important, that we come together and look at what is going on, and must be hard on those saboteurs, those who are trying to destroy this nation, and we should not let them go. If they were, whichever class they come from, whether they are high or low, it is our responsibility to call them out and let justice reign, like Martin Luther King's. I think Prophet Amos, let justice reign, or fall, or rule, or guide us, instead of corrupt men who have got no vision but just destruction for our nation. Thank you, Shadizo, and God bless all of you Kenyans, bless all of us. And I think maybe I'd like to say a word of prayer, if that's okay. Okay, let's pray. I pray for our nation. I pray for our people. I pray for this family that has lost so much. I pray for Baba Ojwang. I pray for young widow and the child. Pray for the mother. I pray for the entire family of Ojwang, that your grace will sustain them at this time. Calm them, my Father, with your Spirit, Lord. Pour it afresh on them, because it's only you that can help us at this time and comfort the grieving, Lord. Lord, may you help us to get to the bottom of the problem, because it's been a long time coming. We've been weighed down by evil forces that has caused so much pain, spiritual pain, physical pain, economic pain, trust, moral pain. So, Father, we come before you because you are the one who sent your Son to take away the pain of your people. We plead for the blood of the Lamb upon the nation at this time of grief, as anger boils and pain deepens and confusion strikes. And Lord, may you stop and step in, Lord, and answer the call of the nation at this time. We pray in the name of Jesus that the powers of the enemy will be destroyed completely, and the power of God may be made to reign afresh and anew. Dear Heavenly Father, remember us as a nation, remember us as a region. We pray for even this channel, pray for Bernard, we pray for your strength, Master. Father, would you just touch him and heal him? Thank you for all the people that you put on this channel, Lord, that all we can come together, and others that you bring in here for us to talk, Lord. We know there's power in counsel, in talking, discussing all these complex things and all these painful things, Lord. May you help us to talk and not to fight. May you help us to stand brave and not to be weak and fearful. May you help us to speak truth to power and bring change to our nation, Lord. We thank you because you're good. Thank you for my brother Shadizo and all the members that we have here. You bless them. Bless the nation. Bless us, all of us, Lord. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Lala, for that. And thank you, everyone, for those who are watching. Thank you for Team Sound Country Talk. I don't have much to say, but let us meet on the next episode and the next moment as we are checking out the story of finance bill. Bye-bye. Till next time.